Okay, good afternoon, class. So we are looking at, in this lesson, our cycle test 2 that you guys have written on Tuesday. So we're going to go through the memo. You just let me know what you don't understand and what the missing understanding was. Okay? Where the misunderstanding, what was the misunderstanding? Okay. Right. So let's do this. First things first, the question 1 says 1.1. I'll scan the paper as well and I will send it to you, to the group at the end of this lesson as well, with a memo, okay? So the question says, find the value of x and y. Reasons required. Always the center of the circle in question 1.1 and 1.2. Now looking at 1.1, let's pull this over. Move that a bit more. In question 1.1, if you look at this circle here, what do you see? Angle at center is twice angle at circumference. So, people, x is equal to 40 degrees. Why? Angle at center equals 2 times angle at circumference. So not 40 is 80. It's double. Not so? Right. I wrote 40 because I know I will tell you something regarding that 40. But I'll tell you afterwards, okay? Then, the next question, the next variable, which is y. People, that is y and that is y as well. Why? Angles opposite equal sides, radii. So you write it. X, which is 80, plus 2y equals 180. Why? We use the fact that the sum of triangles is triangle BOA, and we use the fact that we used radius. Okay, if you wanted, you could have added first. That would have been safer to have added OA is equal to OB. Why? Radius. Okay? And then which other rule did I use here? I use the fact that it is angles opposite equal sides. So you take 80 over, becomes 180 minus 80, which is 100, divided by 2, which is 50. Y is 50 degrees. Now many wrote angles in semicircle. Why can't I say x is equal to 40 angles in semicircle? Not angles in semicircle, sorry, angles in the same segment. People are saying angles in the same segment. This point is not touching the circumference of the circle. If that was given like that, and your x was there, then that is angles in the same segment. Do you guys understand? More than 3 people wrote angles in the same segment. Okay. I don't know who taught you that. Okay, any other problems regarding this question? Okay, the sum was worth 5 marks. This one was worth 5 marks, the others was worth 4 marks. Okay. Let's look at 1.2. In question 1.2, there's your diameter, x is 90. Not so. Why is x 90? Angle in semicircle. Now what do we see? We see our co-interior angles. Can you see that, people? So we say 90 plus y plus 50 equals 180. Why? Co-interior angles with GF being parallel to DE. So y is equal to 40 degrees. Any confusion here? No? Let's carry on. The next question in the 1.3, we are told that HK is a tangent. HK is a tangent. So what comes to mind? Tan-co theorem. Radius perpendicular to tangent. And tangent from common points, which is not another tangent, so that one is not evident. And here we go. Tan-co theorem. So x is equal to 72 degrees. Tan-co theorem. X is equal to 72 degrees, tan-co. What can you say about y? Opposite angles are supplementary. So 64 plus y equals 180. Opposite angles of cyclic quad. So y works out to be 116. Any confusion there? No. Okay, the sun is in your face, you can close the curtain. No? In the next question, people, I told you which theorem is coming in. Didn't I tell you? Yes. I told you. So I gave you 5 marks. I gave it to you. But half of you didn't bag the 5 marks. Which is the proof of the tan-co theorem. I told you. It's coming in. Okay? So, I'm not going to waste my time on this now. So, in the description below, is that right? What did I say? Wait, Anika, what was I supposed to be saying? Oh, in the description below, you'll find the link to the tan-co theorem. Okay. It's the third last one. I think there's 7 in total in that video. You can refer to this third last one, or the last one from the grade 11 Euclidean geometry proofs. Okay. 2.2. In question 2.2, we are told, in the diagram, if GHJ is a cyclic quadrilateral such that HF bisects GHJ, angle GHJ, which means to say that angle there and that angle is the same. But if this is cyclic quad, then that angle is the same, that angle and that angle is also the same. Angles in the same segment. Alright, we also know that the exterior angles with the interior opposite and so on. Then we are told that JF is produced to L, such that LF is equal to FG. If that's the case, that angle there is equal to that angle. Angles opposite equal sides. The question says, L is 42 and angle JF H is 37. So this angle is 37 and this angle here is also 37. Okay? Angles in the same segment. Right? So the first question. The question says determine F2. Angle F2. Now F2, as you can see here, is part of the exterior angle of this triangle. Can you see that? Or if I've calculated F1, then I can just go angles on a straight line for F2. Not so. But this is exterior angle, F2 and 37. The combination thereof is equal to angle L plus angle G1. Why? So it's the exterior angle of this triangle. Not so. So where do I start? I start off by saying that G1 is equal to 42 degrees. Why is that 42 degrees? Angles opposite equal sides. Angles opposite equal sides. Can you see that before? Now what? Angle F2 plus 37. Angle F2 plus 37 is equal to 42 plus 42. Why? Exterior angle of triangle. Dot, dot, dot. And it's the exterior angle of triangle LFG. You don't have to say this word. Okay? So angle F2 is equal to 42 plus 42 is 84 minus 37. Sorry? 47. This is F2, 47 degrees. Okay. Then they want to know H1, the size of angle H1. Now angle H1 is the same as angle J1. Okay? H1. H1 is equal, oh yeah, H1 is equal to H2, no? That's my mistake. Okay. But H2 is equal to H1, okay. So H1 is equal to H2. Why? It was given. Okay. So we know that angle H1 and 2, the combination thereof, plus that angle adds up to what? 180. So I say H1 plus H2, which is 2H1, plus 47 plus 37 is equal to 180. Why? Opposite angles of cycling. So 2H1 is equal to 180 minus 37 minus 47 divided by 2. So angle H1 works out to be 38 degrees. 48 degrees. Okay. Now some people wrote that was it 42, no? 48. What's the size of the angle? 42. So what some people said was, G1 is equal to J1. Why? Tan code here. We all agree it looks like a tangent. No?
Yes.
But did they tell us it's a tangent?
No.
Did we prove it's a tangent?
No.
So you can't use it. There was people that used, more than 3 people used the fact that G1 was a tangent. Okay, that was upsetting, so I needed to say that. Another thing was, coming back to this question here, somebody actually proved the theorem. They proved the theorem, but with no construction. What does that mean? 0. I don't know where it was, because I didn't, so check you catch on answers like that. People, in Euclidean geometry, you must have a construction for any of these theorems or of these proofs. You must have a construction. If you're not going to have construction, you're not going to get the mark for the proof. Okay? I just needed to highlight that. No construction, no more. Let's go to the next one. Don't forget to bring. Yes?
For a question.
Yeah?
If the person who's that FG is a tangent, could they
FG.
LG, sorry.
If they had proven that LG was a tangent, then they could have. But this wouldn't have been a tangent because this is 42 and there's 48. Okay, so it wouldn't have been a tangent. But yes, if you have managed to prove that LG was a tangent to the circle, then yes, you could have used tan code here. Let's look at question 3. Okay, so here we are told in question 3, the diagram below. In the diagram below, two circles have a common tangent. There's a common tangent P, MPU. I'm going to put this out of the way because it's bulky. Right, so we are told that in the diagram below, the two circles have a common tangent MPU. So if this is a common tangent, people, it's a tangent to both circles. Which now means to say that angle P3 is equal to angle S, angle P5 is equal to angle M2, P6, so it's the same as P3, is equal to Q, and so on and so on and so on. Not so. The common tangent, which means to say the tangent to both circles. Okay. So, then we are told that MT is a tangent to the smaller circle. So that's a tangent, then this angle there is equal to that angle, and this angle will be the same as that angle. Can you see that, people? So with S being equal to N1, what do I see here? Exterior angle of cyclic one. With Q2 equal to N1. Can you see that? So that, I think, is one of the questions they asked. Okay. Then we are told that NPR, RQM, and SPQ are straight lines. Let R equal X. Alright, the question says, name with reason 300 angles equal to X. So if this is X, you see there's already a dot here. So P2 is X. P4, now what is this? P5 is vertically opposite X. And N2 is X. 3 angles. Not so? So let's write that neatly down. So we're saying that P2, no?
Yes, sir.
P2 is equal to X. Tan theorem. Right. Then P5 is X. Vertically opposite. And then N2 is X. Why? Tan theorem. Okay. Let's look at number 2. In question 2 we are told we're asked to prove that M in PQ is a cyclic quad. M in PQ. But I already showed you that, no? Alright, so if you don't want to bring in a Y, no problem. You could have worked with the angles itself. So we're going to try to prove that Q2 is equal to N1. Okay? So we know we're going to go with exterior angles equal to the interior opposite, okay? Alright, so we're saying that N1 is equal to which angle? To angle S. Why? Tan theorem. Okay. Then angle S is equal to angle P3. Not so. The angle S is equal to angle P3. Why? Tan theorem. I think that's so easier. I could also say that N1 is equal to P3. No? Tangent from common point. Not so? I think that's the way I did it in the memo as well. But the method that I just applied, I will just take you extra line. Can you see that? But just going to, as the memo, I did it in the memo. So I'm saying that N1 is equal to angle P3. Okay, but firstly we then have to say that M N is equal to MP. Why? Tangent from common point, or tangent from external point. Then we're going to say that N1 is equal to P3. Why? Because why? It's angles opposite equal sides. Angles opposite equal sides. Then we're saying P3 is equal to P6. P3 is equal to P6. Why? Vertically opposite. And then P6 is equal to Q1, Q2. Why? Tan code here. Can you see that, people? Now, since angle Q2 is equal to N1, therefore MNPQ is a cyclic one. Why? Because the exterior angle equals the interior opposite angle. There we go, 5 more. Okay. What I got more than 3 students saying? They say that angle R is equal to angle S. And guess what's the reason? And how can that be angles in the same segment? Isn't it different circles? How is it possible? Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Ufa.
Ufa.
People, angles in the same segment. That will only apply if a circle had gone through the Afwan. You guys understand? So don't write that nonsense again, please, ne? I'll ask you nicely. I'm not upset this time, but next time I'm going to be very upset. Okay. Right, let's look at number 4. People, I thought this is going to be like very easy, right? This was like 10 trigonometry. But truth be told, I don't know what's going on with you. People, the first one, if you substitute wherever I see an x 37, so it's going to be sine 2 times 37. It's going to give you 0.96. We have to say 2 sine 37 times cos 37. 0.96. So that is true. Right, let's look at the next one. Now if you look at the next one, however y, we're talking about y here now. Okay? So we go a half cos 2 times y is 22. Is 0.3596, right? And then cos y, which is 22, 0, so that is false, because the left hand side is not equal to the right hand side. Not so. So there we go, false. Let's carry on with the last 4.2. People, if some of you will have a circle next to your sun, eh? That means you say, I want to see the diagram. Where's the diagram? So if you don't draw the diagram, you're going to lose them off. Listen, because some of you, it would look as if you have used a calculator. Okay? So for the examiner not to second guess your stance, you draw the diagram. And this is what I expected you to draw next week. It's going to be 30, 60. 1, 2, root 3. That is 45. 1, 1, root 2. No, below the sum is fine. Then the extra space, so many of you wrote it in. I must not mark your question paper. Yes?
I added 9 at the bottom and just put the
Right, the one extra mark here. Next time, right? Okay, at the end of it, we can sort. People, is one mark, I feel like 4 marks are needed. One is a lot? Yes. Okay, nice. But listen, if that is your mark, you must get that one. I'm not going to get richer by having you 1 mark. No. Right, so I give it to you. No. People, we go sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So it's 1 over 2 squared minus root 2. Sine of 90. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Is 1 over 1. Sine of 45 is 1 over root 2 plus root 3. Sine of 60 is opposite, which is the root 3 over 2. Which gives you a quarter. That cancels. 1 plus 3 over root 3 times root 3 is 3 over 2. So that is going to be a half. A half plus a quarter is 3 over 4. Okay. The easy. Okay, the note I made there was, please draw your triangles. Okay. 3.4. It says if theta, sine theta is equal to 0,87 and theta is greater than 0 but less than 90, which means to say it's your first quadrant. Or it means to say the angle is an acute angle. With the use of a calculator, find the value of. Now you can use a calculator and you don't. Okay. But anyway, that's how you do it. Okay. You say that sine theta equals 0,87. To get theta on its own, I take arc sine both sides. The theta is equal to arc sine of 0,87. Which gives us now, shift sine, you must see, on top there you must have a D. No? Otherwise, if you don't have a D, and then you must get it in degrees mode. You know how, no? How? Good start, yes. Shift. Shift 9, because are you clearing all 3 equal? Yes, yes. So you say arc sine or shift sine or the inverse of sine. 0,87 is going to give you 60,458 and so on. So that is 60,4, and the number of course carries on. Now we say tan of 60,4 over 2 plus 3 over cos 2 times 60,4. Okay. Now we put in the calculator. We go, oops, calculator don't come with. And now we say it's going to be tan. Now you see, if I push answer, that's the last answer calculated on the calculator. Okay. So I'm going to say now tan answer over 2. Close that bracket. Plus 3 over. Cos 2 times that answer. Give me an answer of negative 5,3. Did I say 1 decimal place? No. So if I didn't say 1 decimal place, I expect you to write the 2 decimal places. Okay. According to what is given on the front page. Okay. So it's negative 5,26. Right, you guys got it? So was this a really difficult paper?
No.
Not at all. You just don't know what happened, okay? It's fine. Sorry? Right. Here we are told that a man walks up 800 meters, road AB, which slopes at 10.2 degrees. He walks here 800 meters to the horizon. When we are told he walks 300 meters down BC, which is at 6,3 to the horizon. Then we have all the horizons parallel to AD. So if lines are parallel, we can alternate corresponding criteria and so on. And we are told that BF is perpendicular, which stands at 90 to AD. The question says find DC for 5 marks. Now, that's not going to form, that is not within a triangle there or something that you're familiar with. Okay. So, we go to a point that we are familiar with, which is, as we say, okay, here's a triangle that can be formed here. A right angle triangle. If I draw a line CF parallel to the horizon or to DF, then that would be 90 degrees. Turn it going. Now in trigonometry you don't need the reason. There's no reason required. Okay? So you all agree that at this point I can actually calculate BF. Not so? What else can I calculate? I can calculate, in this triangle, what can I calculate? Why? Oh, E, because I got the F for it. Nice, nice. And yeah, 30 people not taking notes. No, that's what I thought. Now I must change now. I'm a different person. So, what else can be calculated here? BF. And if A was not going to help us. So I'm going to calculate CD. CD is the same as EF. So if I got BF's length and I got BE's length, I subtract the two and I get EF, which is the same as CD. Wow. So let's do our thing. You don't have to say this, but I'm saying now in triangle BFA. We have a triangle looking like this. Okay? There's 10.2 of A, 800 B, and you got F. So we're going to calculate BF. Which trigonometric function uses opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. So you say sine 10.2 is equal to BF over 800. You see that, people? So naturally this is over 1, you cross multiply. So that would be BF equals 800 sine 10.2. There you go, 800 sine 10.2. That gives you 141,67. 141,67. Okay. So this whole length here. 141,67. So let's look at the other triangle. In triangle BFC, that triangle. Okay? So in triangle BFC. We have a triangle looking like this now. There's my FBC, 300. And since that is 63, the alternate angles is going to be equal. You see that, people? That is 63 here. That's 6,3. So which length do I need? I need the opposite. What do I have? Hypotenuse. So which trigonometric function is that? Sine again. So it's sine 6.3 is equal to BF over 300. That's over 1, cross multiply. So BF is equal to 300 sine 6,3. So it's 300 sine 6.3. 32,92. Alright. So I'm going to calculate EF. We then said, therefore, EF is equal to 141,67 minus 32,92, which is equal to 141.67 minus that answer. Is that correct? 108. This is wrong. Okay, where's my mistake? I know that one is right. Sorry? BF. My PE you mean? Suppose I had the E in, so it's 300 times 6 commas, sine 6 commas. What is wrong there?
So you did something wrong, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, let's just check the memo. You got full marks. What did you get? Did you get 141,67?
Yes.
Did you get
Yes. So that's
141?
What's the final answer?
141,67 minus 32,92.
Yeah, that's correct.
I 108, comma 75. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So why you say it's wrong?
No, sir, I asked you what you mean. You said that.
So what I mean when I said I'm wrong.
Yeah.
What did you say now? Which is equal to CD. Okay. That wasn't so difficult. Sorry? And let's do the last question, which I also noticed some of you are just leaving the bonus questions out. The time. Times of an essence. Okay. Let's look at the bonus question. Here we are told that cos of A is equal to A over B. Cos of A is A over B. So, if that is the case, and we told that A is in greater than 0 and less than 90, what does that mean to say? That is an acute angle, not so. So, acute angle means to say it's in the first quadrant. If you want to draw quadrant, you draw it in that quadrant. So, what does cos stand for? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So, if I draw that, here's my angle A. My adjacent to A is A, hypotenuse is B. So how do I get that length? How do I work out the opposite? Nice! So B squared is equal to your A squared plus your opposite side squared. So your opposite side squared is equal to B squared minus A squared. The square root thereof is going to be B squared minus A squared. Okay. Now we come to what they ask. The question is, prove that that is the case. So this is a left and right hand side story. It's an identity, okay? So we say the left hand side of the equal sign is equal to. Now what does sine stand for? Sine can be written as the ratio is opposite over hypotenuse. So what's my opposite to A? B squared minus A squared, the square root thereof, over B times. What is 10? Opposite over adjacent, which is B squared minus A squared, the root thereof, over A. And that is over. Let's say, okay, now, where we get sec from? Sec is 1 over cos. Together you guys know all of these things. Together, yeah. Keyword. So if sec is 1 over cos, and cos is adjacent of hypotenuse, then sec is hypotenuse over adjacent. So the hypotenuse is B, the adjacent is A minus 1. So, oh yes, we have got some algebra here. No? They're complex fractions. So the square root of B squared minus A squared times the square root of B squared minus A squared is simply B squared minus A squared over A times B is AB. And you must divide it by The LCM here is going to be A. So that's going to be B minus A. This line here stands for what? Division. So it's going to be B squared minus A squared. Now this here, what can happen here? Difference of 2 squared. So B minus A times B plus A over AB must be divided by B minus A over A. But change that to multiplication. Then becomes A over B minus A. So hang on. Something else I can do here. B minus A cancels B minus A. A cancels A. So what are we left with? B plus A over B. And if we look, to my surprise, is equal to the right hand side. Get behind the calculator yourself. Take it away. Here we go. So is this really that difficult? Nobody got the bonus question right? Huh? You wrote something else? I think somebody just got 1 mark for that question. Somebody. They did this party. The triangle, they got that right. But yeah, that's how it goes. Sorry? Right, you must file that now. Nobody took out the files. No. Right, for those of you who joined our class yesterday, or the day before, where's your files? Did you bring it? Go fetch it. Oh, you want to go back to that class? Huh? Oh. Yes.
What are the weightings for the test in the certificate?
This I think is. I don't want to give you a weighting and I'm wrong. So I don't know. It won't be 50.
Please, your price and
It will be less. This will be less.
Can you please report to the office?
Will definitely be less.
Your price and Oshina Daniels, please report.
So you can still get the A for maths.
Thank you.
Yes, listen, June, listen. You're writing 2 papers. Each paper is 2 hours long. 100 marks per piece. People, enjoy the rest of your day. Please file before you leave. Listen, file your piece. If you want to take photos of it, of your question, you keep the script, your question paper. The script must go in the file. Okay. Good afternoon.